Republican caucus in Congress is split between a very small group of Republican Congress people who are clowns and who wish to basically do their clown act on TV for money and notoriety, and the vast majority of Republicans who actually would like to pass bills that they believe are the best thing they can get for America. That doesn't mean the best bill possible, because the best bill possible is not possible when you have a Democratic Senate and a Democratic president. But there's a group of Republican Congress people who have decided that it is very important that they be very famous. And in order to be very famous, they're going to do things like challenge the speakership of the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who is more conservative on policy than any of them.
Hey, Mr. Ben Shapiro, where were you when these clowns were gaining power? Where was your voice then? You have such a large audience and therefore so much power, but yet you sat quietly as these, in your words, clowns grew in power and size and influence. And that's what brought us to where we are right now. Your refusal to tell the truth to your audience so that they could prevent these clowns from taking over the party.
The old school Republicans are corrupt and needed to be replaced. But they needed to be replaced by better politicians who are more for the people, less corrupt, more honest, more for the people, more for their constituents. But instead of promoting politicians like that, people like Ben Shapiro have enabled a new generation that is far more corrupt, unhinged, and immoral. And in fact, even less conservative. Liberal elite Democrats like Donald Trump. That's what you're replacing the old guard with. Wow. So you have a kitchen fire, which is pretty bad, and you're like, we got to do something about this. But rather than promoting a solution, you promote the whole house being on fire. So the whole house, we're lighting up the whole house now, and you're sitting there silently, and all you're talking about is, oh, that kitchen fire though, that kitchen fire. Who the fuck cares about the kitchen fire when we're going to a level of lighting the whole house is on fire? Who the hell cares about how corrupt the old school Republicans are when the people that are taking power now are far more corrupt? Donald Trump and the MAGA crazies. We would much rather have the old school corrupt politicians than them. And there are Republicans who are better than the old school ones that Ben Shapiro could have been promoting, but instead he chooses money. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You have been enabling a far more toxic and corrupt new group of so-called clowns. You did that, Ben Shapiro. This is your doing. It's not all on you, but you're a big part of it. How could they grow as big as they are without your silent support?
This would be the same group of clowns who decided to oust Kevin McCarthy for no reason other than Matt Gaetz had some sort of vengeance plan against Kevin McCarthy. Mike Johnson should nuke this dumb rule right now. And if he requires Democrats to help him do it, then he should get Democrats to help him do it. And if you don't like that, you should blame Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's the one who decided to bring the latest quixotic attempt to take down the Speaker of the House for no reason other than to get her name on TV. There is no logic here. There is no rationale here. There is no reason here. I'm sick of watching the Republican caucus be dominated by people who have no interest to take down the Speaker of the House for no reason other than to get her name on TV. There is no logic here. There is no rationale here. There is no reason here. I'm sick of watching the Republican caucus be dominated by people who have no interest in actual conservative policy and appear to only want to get on TV and talk radio.
Benny boy, as my late mother used to say, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. She didn't used to sing it. I just chose to do it for no reason. But anyway, Ben Shapiro, so dishonest and so toxic to conservatives. Such a liability to the right. Such a liability to conservatism is Ben Shapiro. Now, I want you guys to take note that my positions have remained firm. I'm not going with the wind. I'm not promoting Donald Trump when it's profitable to do so. I don't make any money here, but regardless. And then promoting DeSantis when that's the thing to do. My positions have remained consistent. Before things got crazy in Gaza, I called it out. I posted a video when they first talked about people going to the South, and I said, I think I was the only one leading on this, I said, watch them go to the South and get bombed in the South, right? That's what I said. That was my position before things transpired, right? I have called out people pandering to the right, like,
I have a conspiracy theory about Joe Biden. Oh, they call us conspiracy theorists. Russell Brand. That's a bad impression, sorry.
Tim Pool, who was pretending to be, I'm not a right-winger, I'm not on a right-wing channel, right? but all of his content, right? It was all anything that's popular in the right wing. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's focused on. Doing the typical propaganda model that you see left wing and right wing media do. 98% of your content attacking your political opponents, 2% sort of attacking your own side. And that is what Ben Shapiro is doing right now. He's fulfilling his 2% quota. Here he is doing a rare video calling out his side, which is red meat for his apologists. So when you call out Ben Shapiro for how dishonest he is, how savage he is, how immoral he is, how phony he is, people that like him, if you focus on the bias part, they'll say, no, he called out his side too, right? As if that is unique. They all do that. That is the American propaganda business model. MSNBC and CNN have called out their side. At least 2% of their content is calling out their side, right? Fox News, 2% of their content, somewhere in there you can find them calling out their side. Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, right? This is the standard business model. I think Brian Tyler Cohen is so dishonest, so biased. He might be one of the exceptions to the rule. I would struggle to find 2% of his content calling on his side. I suppose it's there, but it'd be so soft and so passive. Like the idea of him making a video saying something negative about Biden. I can't see it. So this is one thing I want you to notice. Like Ben Shapiro wants you to think he's objective and he's honest and he's not afraid to call out his own side, right? But here is the reality, right? Again, contrast my consistency with Ben Shapiro's flip-flopping, right? I have been calling out people like Marjorie Taylor Greene for quite some time. Obviously, all of left-wing media, all of liberal media has been doing it as well. I'm not them. I call out corruption wherever I see it, and consistently so. I don't do the 98%, 2% model, right? As much as there's corruption on the right, that's as much as I want to talk about it. As much as there's corruption on the left, that's as much as I want to talk about it. I'm not focused on what's going to get me the most clicks and views, right? But I have called out people like Marjorie Taylor Greene for years now. I've talked about how destructive she is to the conservative movement, how fake she is, how savage she is. She is one of the many political influencers, right? Ironically, not unlike Ben Shapiro. So we call out people like her, and we call out, like the QAnon movement. And this is the sort of gaslighting tactic that is utilized as a rebuttal. Oh, it's just a minority group. It's just a few people. Right? If you talk about like Nazis protesting at Disney World, any of that stuff, white supremacy, whatever. Oh, it's a small group, irrelevant. You're trying to highlight, there's random crazies everywhere. The fact that there's a few people. And I say nonsense, right? I say that is nonsense. And what's the end result? The end result confirms my initial sentiments, right? We have QAnon people or QAnon friendly people who are now within Congress. This group that people like Tim Pool, I know for sure, told us, don't worry about, they're just a small group, have power in our government. They are in Congress. Q people or Q friendly people are in Congress. This is the group that when people are talking about, they're concerned, what's going on. These people are wacky, right? They're talking some real traitorous languages, very unpatriotic, although they're hiding behind fake patriotism, right? We call this out, and it's like, it's random crazies. Who cares about them, right? And what they did by whitewashing and downplaying it is they enabled, people like Ben Shapiro enabled these movements and these people to gain power. Now they're in Congress, right? Now we have these lunatics like MTG, Boebert, Matt Gaetz, all the full clown show, right? These are the people that I have been warning about, right?
In contrast, you know what Ben Shapiro has been doing? Going after Republicans, right? Because he's objective. He goes after his own side. But who does he like to go after? Any Republicans that call out the very clowns that he's calling out, right? Those are the ones he wants to make videos about. That's what he spends most of his time when he's attacking his own side. So people like Liz Cheney, which I'm not a fan of. People like Mitt Romney, right? Ben Shapiro is, he loves to go call them out, this and that, and whatever his stuff is that he has to say about them. Yeah, he loves to call them out, right? But he doesn't seem to have much interest in calling out the people that he now calls clowns, right? Perfectly happy for those people to gain power. But Liz Cheney, she's a problem, right? Listen to what he's saying in his video about how Mike Johnson is more conservative than them. So is Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is very conservative. Mitt Romney, very conservative, right? But he'd rather promote a liberal Democrat like Donald Trump, right? There's other people that he's promoting right now. There was when Liz Cheney was in a position of power in the Republican Party, they replaced her with someone who is far less conservative, right? Ben Shapiro helped for them to demote a more conservative person for someone less conservative, someone who called out Trump, right? And now is pretending to be on Team Trump. So a complete fraud. He's perfectly happy for that to happen. And then now he wants to complain about the clown show.
Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool have been giving these people cover and validating them. He will invite them on his show, right? Act as if they're normal people, right? Oh, let's talk to Alex Jones like he's not an unhinged scam artist huckster, right? Savage, immoral. Let's pretend like he's just a guy with different opinions, right? Let's have on these Republican politicians, whether it's Boebert or MTG or whoever, Trump's son. Let's invite these crazies on because it's good for content. And when they get on our channels, let's act exactly like MSNBC acts, right? We like to call them out, right? Their softball interviews, but let's do a softball interview as well. But it's okay when we do it because, you know, we're not news media. This is a commentary show, right? If you're Stephen Crowder, you're like, oh my God, I'm just a comedian, right? You, Ben Shapiro, are responsible for enabling the growth of people like this. How would they be able to grow as successful as they are, even with Trump support, if right-wing media, especially large channels like yourself, were constantly going after them with the same fury that you do going after the left, right? And this is to show how dishonest Ben Shapiro is, because he's very smart. He's not an idiot. For him to spend all this time going after the left, presenting them as such a dangerous threat, while at the same time ignoring people like MTG, who enable the left, right? It's people like MTG and Boebert and Trump who give the Democrats power, right? Because they don't have to do much. They can just run on, do you want those guys to be in charge, right? People like MTG scare Democrat voters to the poll, which enables the very thing that you fairmonger from every day. You fairmonger to conservatives about socialism and this and Biden's policies. And then you go and support people like Trump, the only person who gives Biden a chance to win. That's who you're supporting because that's good for business. That can help you buy another luxury car, another mansion somewhere, right? And you don't care about the country. You don't care about your subscribers. You don't care about the working class people who support you, probably members, paying their hard-earned money to help you live your multi-millionaire elite lifestyle, right? You don't care about them, right? It's all content for you, right? How can I get more views? How can I get more engagement, right? How, again, can MTG get to be as successful as she is when there's major people in right-wing media who are constantly exposing her and calling her out? People who won't listen to liberal media calling them out, but they might listen to you because you're supposedly a conservative. So conservatives would be more trusting of hearing it from you. And truth be told, liberal media, right? This is just how media is, whether it's corporate or independent, very greedy. So they will exaggerate. Things are bad enough as they are, right? The QAnon movement was bad enough as it was. January 6th was bad enough as it was. MTG is bad enough as she is. Trump is bad enough as he is. The truth is really bad. But that's not good enough for them, right? Because they can make a few extra dollars by exaggerating. So, because of things like that, it would be better to have people like you, Ben Shapiro, as a supposed conservative, because I don't know what your ideology is, right? Because I know the truth, right? I'm not in the Matrix, and I'm not in Zion either. I'm in reality, right? Zion in the Matrix is just the other Matrix for people who question the system. So when people talk about taking the red pill, they're talking about substituting one illusion for another. I don't want any illusion. I don't want the blue pill. I don't want the red pill. I want to actually exit the Matrix.
You got to look at these people in media, whether it's corporate or independent, left-wing or right-wing, as characters on a TV show. We don't really have news media in America. What we have is entertainment media, right? CNN, MSNBC, Brian Tyler Cohen, Tim Pool, Stephen Crowder, the Young Turks, right? These are entertainers, right? So therefore, just like you wouldn't look at a guy playing a gangster in a movie as an actual gangster, I don't look at Ben Shapiro as a conservative. I don't know the man. I don't know his beliefs. I don't know his ideology, right? I wouldn't assume that the stuff he's talking about represents his actual views when he's in a business where I would say most people are saying a lot of stuff that they don't actually believe or agree with. So I don't know where he stands. I don't know where any of these people stand.
You sitting quietly as people and movements like this grow, enable them to grow, enable them to get into positions of power, right? And it enables the left and the supposed socialism and all the scary stuff. How can any of that stuff that you fearmonger about happen when the Democrats do as little as they do, right? And crazies like MTG get destroyed by right-wing media, so they never get anywhere. They certainly don't get in government. The social media followings are very limited because only the most extreme on the right follow them. Because again, people like Ben Shapiro calling them out, right? And calling out Trump consistently, not just, doing that 2% content thing. If you guys were doing that, Trump would not be a thing, and we would probably have DeSantis right now destroying destroying Biden. So if you really meant what you say about the left, whatever craziness you're talking about, if you really meant that, then why is it that you're doing everything possible to ensure that that is a reality? And considering also that, isn't it convenient that by doing exactly what you're doing, not only are you enabling the thing that you keep fearmongering about, but also it's financially beneficial to you that you do that? Because if Biden wins, you can continue to put out your content. Anything he does, paint it as somehow it's crazy and blah, blah, blah. And look what they're doing in socialism and this and that, right? Another Biden term would be awesome for you. Great content. So you probably want Joe Biden to win, just like a lot of people in left-wing media want Trump to win, right? When the opposing side gets in power, it's excellent content for the propagandists on the other side, right? A Trump presidency is a little bit complicated for you because he's going to do a lot of craziness, and then you're going to spend a lot of effort trying to spin it and whitewash it and pretend not to see what he's doing. But if Biden continues, then it's perfect. You already have your audience set up to hate everything the left does, everything the Democrats do. So it's easy, man. Anything they do to say, oh, this is socialism and this is not what the Constitution says, and they want you to believe in, oh, facts don't care, right? That's easy money, right? So don't come to me with your bullshit, Mr. Lying, Fraud, Immoral Ben Shapiro, talking about MTG is a clown. You are a clown, and MTG is a clown, right? You guys are both clowns. You are a clown for enabling someone like her to have the amount of power that she does. Right now, she has the leader of the Republican Party, right? Mr. Johnson has him cowering in fear because of this person who represents the group of people that people like you told us, don't worry about it. They're just a small group of people. Oh, that's just liberal media fear-mongering, right? Well, our fear-mongering has led to a clown, in your words, being in a position of power to basically put the power of the GOP at risk. Because she doesn't care about the GOP. She doesn't care about government. She doesn't care about country. She cares about herself. And that's what you've admitted. And this is not new for you. You've known this. You've known what she's been doing. You know that she's a clown. You know she hurts conservatism, right? But it's not good for business for you to tell the truth. So you have to lie with the truth, right? Talking only the things that are breadcrumbs that lead your audience down a particular path that is a detour from reality. So you create a lie painted with truth because you're one of the best propagandists in the country. And that's the best propaganda, is a lot of truth that hides the lies, right? Lies of omission. All right, Ben Shapiro, you do you, boo. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. Enjoy the clown show, everyone. Brought to you by Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. The frauds